Okay, we're going to discuss the positives of Parasite, and it was chosen as the 92nd Oscars,
I believe so.
the picture of the year, best picture, and everybody finds most strangely that a foreign film was all in Korean. I thought it was Japanese, and my brother Donald had corrected me. I didn't know it
South
was
Korea.
Korean. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The positives of this film, I every time a film is chosen for best picture, and it could be a big mega hit film, similar like Titanic. It's a big name historical film, whatever. It's pushed, and sometimes a film. Why was that chosen picture of the year? This one, once you watch it, and I've always said this every time I've seen a film that I question, why was this chosen? Once you've seen it, yes, you realize, yes, now I understand why it was chosen as film of the year. The biggest discrepancy is the Korean language. It's all in Korean language, and they used closed captioning. No, it's I don't know if closed captioning was for the deaf and hearing impaired. If I don't know if you want to label or describe it as closed captioning is what they used. Or no?
No, I mean it's just normally what they've done for foreign language films and forums where they
Is
use
it, would
subtitles.
it be labeled as captioning?
Well, no, I mean it's just subtitles.
Subtitles. I'm sorry, I couldn't get the right word. Subtitles. The Korean language, and people say it's a foreign movie. So why would that win in the United States for a film of the year when they have a foreign language category? Okay, the subtitles help give the actors their emotion. The actors are great, and it would be difficult to know which by their Korean names, but the subtitles really gave them emotion, and the more you can pay attention to the actors, what's happening, what they're doing, why they're doing it, what's going on. The subtitles give them their emotion, and they give it's great performances, but you don't understand what they're saying, and people would be turned off by that.
And the irony is that I didn't actually need to understand what they were saying at all because I felt the tension of all the characters just based on how they were acting. I didn't need to understand any of it because you saw the buildup that was coming, and it kept coming, and it kept coming.
It was stunning that with the plot and the story, you keep saying, well, it's incredible, the manipulation. When I wrote up my battery review for this, one thing I focused on is the manipulation, and it really comes to mind that imagine an American English movie of this kind. The manipulation of this family, kind of a poor Korean family, and they meet a wealthy Korean family, that how they pulled this off. I would say infiltrating by one, and I didn't want to give I'm not really giving spoilers away. Yes, in a sense I did. But the way they pulled this off, you would want to see an American English version of this. But this gives you the idea. It's an incredible manipulation of, wow, this probably happens in real life.
Now the concept of that movie has actually happened in American films before, but usually it just involves like the one lead character infiltrating another family in a form of deception.
With only one person.
Right. It never involves the entire family going into it. Which
It is so funny and laughable at times when you read those subtitles and what they're pulling off to each person in each situation. Your mouth hits the floor, or you're laughing. Wow, they're falling for this. They're getting away with this. Incredible.
Now, what I think it also would help is if you understood more about, I don't know if mythology is the right term, but the way they view their legends about how they believe in different things that are outside of normal, what you'd call reality. Because I don't want to give a spoiler away, too, of what their concept was. But every culture, including ours, has this. But you really have to understand how it works in Korea and relate it to how you would have in whatever country you are. Again, I don't want to give a spoiler as to what they're referring to, and whether it existed or not.
Without giving spoilers too, the one word they applied the poor family to the wealthy family was how stupid the wealthy family really was. Is any wealthy family, honest to God, that stupid to what the poor family was attempting and getting away with? Would a wealthy family be that stupid?
You would not think so, except when you look at different people that are arrested for different crimes, you end up realizing, yes, this happens in every country at different points in times. If you have somebody that lack of sophistication being conned by somebody who is, yeah, it can happen.
I wouldn't say spoiler, but the one thing that was one of the strangest scenes I remember is when it's toward the ending, and the poor family's daughter is sitting on an upper section on a toilet. What? Why is there a toilet sitting up that high? I don't think you can find it here.
Now,
what in the world was that? Who put the toilet up that high?
Now, historically, I know in America they had this one weird, famous house that like a billionaire had that was never finished, and it was somebody that had like a real mental health issue, and there was like hundreds of rooms and none of them were coordinated together, and you would have closets that would open to nowhere, doors that would go nowhere, windows that would open up right to a brick wall, and you're wondering, who the heck designed this? So
yeah,
it does happen rarely, but it does happen.
The particular scene in the wealthy home.
Yeah.
And when we really want to hold back on spoiler for people who haven't seen this. And I honestly doubt anyone's going to want to see this movie because it's in Korean language. Wow, they're going to waste their time. I am not watching a foreign language film. People, you really need to see this. It is worth it. The money is worth the trip to see this. Worth just the view of this. But when a door open, when a particular door is found.
Besides, at this point, it's available for rent anyway, right. So you don't have to go.
When a particular door is found in a wealthy home, and where it leads to, your mouth hits the floor. Uh-huh. What are we seeing here? Oh my God!
And then it makes sense.
It is an oh my God, WTF, holy cow! It's wow.
When you consider history, it makes sense, and it also makes sense as to why they thought it would have been something possibly else. And you understand both aspects of it.
When I first started watching this, and what the poor family was pulling off one by one per member of the family in the wealthy, I first said the first thing that came to mind was quote unquote frauds. They're pulling a fraud. Uh-huh. Then then it came to realize toward the middle and toward the ending, I now understand why direction or whomever named it Parasite. Mm-hmm. You start to connect that word. Mm-hmm. But the majority of the film, they are frauds. Mm-hmm. But how's the word parasite, which is connecting with, it's like a bug connecting to the host and taking it over. You start to catch that, to grab a hold of. Wow, it does match the title. Uh-huh. It does. It's incredible. The ending is kind of confusing, where what happens with the poor family, and what happens with there are attack scenes, there are death scenes. Any movie has those kind of scenes, and it's disturbing, confusing. It is. Here's the thing: you're wondering how long are they actually going to get away with this? Will they get caught? Uh-huh. Are they going to get? Will they get caught? When are they going to get caught? But that's not where it really leads. It gets really disturbing. The scenes get disturbing toward the ending, and that's where most movies grab you. Are you going to get dragged into watching a 1.5 hour, 2 hour, 2.5 hour, 3 hour movie? Oh my God, this movie's going to take so long. This is why a film is chosen for Film of the Year. I gave it a 3.5, and I only have a 5-star rating. 3.5 meaning it is worth watching again. Right. I would watch this again. Now, a 4-star where I would purchase it after it's done in the theater.
If you describe the movie in one word, it would be the word deception. And not the normal kind of deception, but in the sense that deception can take so many different forms, and sometimes it'll take forms that you never considered before. And this did that.
It just did. It's disturbing how they got away with it, how they were doing it. How long is this going to last? Are they really going to get away with it? It changes. You think, okay, I want to say you want to see them get away with it. Let's see how long it takes. Will the other family catch on? And you see the script is having particular characters. Well, okay, I'm catching on to something here. Mm-hmm. It's not exactly that they're catching on. It's a slow catch. It's other people. Where did they come from? They are able to stop this in its tracks. Mm-hmm. What would as a positive? Okay, I'm not. It's just, and you and I have not discussed our rating.
No, I have a similar system when it comes to that. Though usually it's on a 4 scale, not a 5. Where
I've only given one movie ever a 5-star. But.
Where I would say I would see it more than once. I don't know if I would buy the movie, but I definitely would.
So you would label like I would a 3.5 worth watching again.
Yeah, no, I would, but for me, that's where I put it like 2.75 out of 4. Where 2.5 I would watch once, 3.0 is when I would buy the movie, 2.75 is where I would watch it at least 2 times, and that's where I have them on this.
I tell you, I think the most standout actress, and it's harder to know what their Korean names. Yeah. The one person that really stood out was the Korean the oldest daughter, the poor family daughter.
Yeah.
She was a standout. It's just the way they seemed they were getting drunk in the wealthy family's house, and it's the way it's just it was funny as hell, but she was the standout character this entire movie. The poor daughter, the older daughter, the other daughter. She was the one that most memorable about her.
The irony is the standout for me was not actually the actors, and they were great. The house for me was actually the standout because even though
the wealthy home's door.
Yeah,
it felt like it
door
had
its own entity of life.
Yeah,
even though it wasn't alive, but it had its own.
It's amazing when it's described what that door led to.
Yeah.
I didn't even pick up on when you told me. I thought this movie was Japanese, and you told me it's Korean. The only moment that I heard something about Korean was the another set of it was the housekeeper, and she was joking about the Korean dictator.
Yeah,
that's the only moment that the word Korean was ever mentioned. I did not know they're speaking Korean all that time. No. It might sound very vaguely racist on my part to say what you couldn't understand of course you can understand the language, but which language was it? Chinese, Japanese, Korean, or whatever Asian language I did not know. You had to correct me. Oh, it was Korean. It was all Korean. Oh, really? I only knew when she's joking about the Korean dictator. That was the only mention of Korean. But you said it was all Korean. Like, oh, okay. I didn't know that.
The whole thing.
Didn't know that. It's not being in anybody. Unless you knew that ahead of time, it may in a very on a not a racist point of view, but you don't know the language unless you really look it up.
Yeah, considering where the door and all that stuff led to, I understand where some would have thought it was Japan, considering historical context. But then when you realize the historical context of Korea, then you realize, yeah, that exists too.
But
I understand the confusion.
You wonder why how many films were on this list and most people would believe it was going to be Joker or 1917 or so many on this list. But when Parasite got chosen, it was probably. You would probably hear, I don't know if there were boos said in the audience, that these are all...
No, they were relieved, actually. It was the comments online that were upset with
because of the foreign language film.
Yeah.
How could a foreign language film be in this list? and everybody was upset. And I found it when we're going to be talking about Joker in another review, and everybody's just upset with me that I'm not the fan of Joker. But I was relieved Joker didn't win. I'm going to be talking about that.
No.
But we all thought 1917 was going to win this.
Yeah, honestly, I thought there was going to be a split. I thought between 17 and Parasite, and for full disclosure, I have not seen 1917. It's the one of the films nominated I have not seen.
There's a couple films I have not seen on this list.
I thought there was going to be a split between director and best picture because that's how it had been the entire time. So I was surprised that one got both of them.
It's fully understand why the director, once you've seen this film, they can see why he was chosen as best director. Oh my God. It is worth seeing. You have to ignore, and this also sounds not intentionally racist, but you have to ignore the Korean language. You listen to the actors. Watch what they're doing. The subtitles give them their emotion. Now, if you can understand the language, good.
The last thing I will describe when it comes to language is I have not enjoyed a foreign language film this much since the original Swedish version over a decade ago of the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo trilogy. You've never seen it,
I've heard of it.
You've only maybe seen the American version. There's a great Swedish trilogy of it. And it's one of the rare times where you don't have to read the language to understand every aspect of the film. And I give great credit for him for pulling that off.
Negatives. Now, the key thing I think everyone mostly has, we're surprised by its not let alone Oscar nomination, and let alone the big Best Film Picture win for 2020 Oscar nominations, is being a foreign film. And name a foreign film that has been listed to the Best Picture list, but I think it's also, let alone the foreign language, Korean, and originally I thought it was Japanese. My brother Donald had to correct me on that. I thought it was Japanese, no, it was Korean. The key thing that's really going to throw everyone off, let alone foreign, is I thought it was closed captioning for hearing and impaired. No, it's subtitles. I was wrong about it. It was called subtitles. And who is going to watch the subtitles?
So I think, for record, it's actually I think it's the second film that was nominated that was foreign language for Best Picture. It's just the first one to have won. If my memory is right, 20 years ago, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, with Chow Yun-fat, I think that was the first one that got nominated.
I vaguely remember the title, let alone seeing that film.
Yeah, I remember seeing it more than I remember the title. But
it made film history that a foreign language film made the best list, and then the Oscars have always had a best foreign film category. It's made little history. No, when Joker and the rest of the best film Oscar nominations lost, and it was shocking when I thought 1917. Many people thought 1917 would win. That when this one was announced as the winner, I said I was laughing like Joker that, wow, it knocked Joker off for Best Picture. And I was laughing about it, but looking back, it's understandable how it won. But who in the world, unless you like foreign films or you're curious why it won, you really have to push yourself into. Ignore the Korean language and it's the subtitles, because nobody is gonna watch that. It's gonna be the big negative, the big huge turnoff is that.
Plus, usually when a film that's of a smaller scale is up against what they call a war epic type movie, usually the war epic type movie wins.
Rare, yes.
The one exception to that, I think, was 1998, but that was two war movies competing against each other, which is why both Private Ryan and Thin Red Line lost. But that's a different controversy for another day.
The other things that I found negative were the other characters that come into play later in the film. The disturbing, there's death scenes, murder scenes, acts, whatever. We don't want to throw any spoilers into it because we found this a very good film. Why it was chosen, but the door leading scene where this door leads in the wealthy home, the wealthy family's home, is where's this going? But it's the disturbing scenes. You might think it's positive, but how it's disturbing is that particular characters are lost. Why? What happened to her? You know, there's many females in it, but you say, wow, why was she killed off? You know, and then how the movie concludes is, okay, what happened here?
The problem I basically had with the whole reveal is not the reveal itself. It's the concept that, and horror movies go through a lot of this problem, is once you have the dramatic surprises that happens, it mostly takes away from wanting to see it a second or a third time, because you're now expecting and now you know what's going to happen. Now, I understand a second time because now you're trying to click in, okay, well, how did this happen? This is how it happened. But after that, you really have no interest of watching it a third time, and that happens to a lot of films. And it's really just a small nitpick type negative that I have, but that's what I'm trying to get at.
Sometimes when I do bad reviews, film reviews, is positives and negatives. They can both end up in the same list. What I think and what I'm going to bring up, and the negatives. Where this film was leading, is this family, the poor family, are they going to get away with it? Again, I don't want to spoil this ending, but how the ending is kind of, it is definitely kind of vague and confusing at the same time. I really I have to look up what other critics thought of the ending. Are they going to get away with it? How are they going to get away with it? Did they get away with it? The ending is vague.
I think what confused me about the ending is how exactly, if it's going to take a while for, without spoiling it, for resolution of how it ended, how is the one participant going to survive?
Did it actually happen?
That long of the duration that's apparently going to have to take place. Because it's not like, okay, the next day we're going to have resolution. No, apparently it's going to take months or years.
Did the ending actually happen, though?
I think so. I don't think they were going that
That's what's confusing and vague and confusing at the same time. Did the ending actually happen?
Yeah.
And other movies run in that course. No. Was it a dream? Was it...
Yeah, I don't think it was that kind of direction.
No.
I think that it was still real, so it wasn't anything like that.
The other thing that I found I found confusing. I found really it wasn't someone dying or what. No, it was like that. What I found really, really, really strange was in the poor family's home, in a flood scene where the daughter is sitting on a toilet on an upper section. What? How is a toilet? It must be something that's in Korea. The toilet is in an upper section of the apartment. The apartment seems small, but it's in a lengthy form. It's a walkable lengthy form, not like it's compact like an efficiency would be. And where this toilet is, you're climbing up on top of a wall, and I think there's a window there. I think, but it's a strange place for a toilet to be.
I think when you're too used to how buildings are designed in America,
you
forget how different they are in other places.
Very different.
If you've seen videos, you'll understand to a degree part of that, but it was still unusual for an American audience to try and take in.
I think it's really the ending that really throws off this movie from being, I would call it 3.5 4 star, and I still give it a 3.5. But its ending, oh man, this is how they're gonna end it. That ruins a film. That is a quote I would say in any film that lowers. Wow, this is getting my interest. It's a 4. Something's losing my interest. 3.5. Oh man, would I watch this again? It's the ending that, honest to God, kills it. I don't want to say kills it. That's why I had to speak up about the negative.
I think
it's a toilet and
I think where you're getting at
you want an ending that fits in this. It throws into confusion. What is really happening? What happened? What really is what is happening and what happened?
There's a difference between leaving you with death and sadness versus leaving you with death and confusion. And this one left with confusion. And that's where I can see the negativity. That's where a movie like Seven would be one of the great death type endings, where you had basically 3 deaths, but only showed one person being killed.
Confusing, and I wouldn't say disturbing, but confusing, strange, and vague endings. This is.
But some audiences love that kind of thing, and it's just not one that we particularly are great fans of.
It's confusing ending, vague ending. You're not sure if this really did this ending did or did not make sense. Did this ending make sense or didn't make sense? And that's where you want to watch this movie again, but the ending did not fit. I think they definitely should have remade the ending.
Now, don't get me wrong. The movie is appropriately titled when you think of what the
it took a little while. First, I call it Fraud, and then they call now I can understand where Parasite fits.
Because technically because it technically applies to everyone, to how you perceive other people. And you can see how it applies, so it does fit.
Many movies have this kind of ending. That it was a great film. You have to be pushed. You have to push yourself into watching it, because especially being American, you have to watch it with subtitles in Korean language. But its ending, really, honest to God, ruined it. You're adding confusion. If you like this video, please subscribe, comment, like or dislike, and thank you for watching.